Prevent this to supersize your business. Welcome to day 158 of our Supersize Your Business Annual Challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today and all this month we are talking about physical aspects of our business and in Supersize You, our life. Now, we can't really separate our business from our life because we are usually, if you're like me, an integral part of your business. We're working in a mastermind to separate some of that and make it so that your business isn't so dependent on you, but that's a topic for another day. Today we're talking about prevention. Preventing what? Well, for ourselves personally, preventing sickness, disease, health challenges, etc. And for our organization, preventing accidents, things breaking or being super expensive to fix, repairs, expensive repairs. I like to think of it and with ourselves and our businesses like car maintenance. If you get in a car and you drive it and you never put oil in it, you never take care of it, you just put gas in it and go, guess what? That car is going to wear out and break down a whole lot faster than if you followed the scheduled maintenance. The same is true of our lives as well as our businesses. But you normally have to be the one to create that schedule of preventative maintenance and maintenance. I come from a manufacturing background, so preventative maintenance and maintenance is just an automatic part of my thinking, but it wasn't always that way. When it came to my health and my life, I am I'm great now, but I was a very bad example of that. At 50, I had a sudden cardiac arrest, which is a huge, number one, it taught me the difference between proactively taking care of myself and preventing disease and illness versus the cost of having to deal with that disease, that illness, or that event. I'm just fortunate that I was in a place where I could be resuscitated and did not actually die. I guess it wouldn't have mattered to me then if I did. Everything would have gone on and been figured out without me, but I wasn't ready yet, right? At 50, I wasn't done yet. I definitely wasn't done yet. So I learned a huge, very, very expensive lesson about the difference between taking care of myself along the way and not taking care of myself. And at 50, since I did wake up and I did come back, I made a huge, huge lifestyle change and life shift. And now I preach, probably a little too much, the importance of taking care of ourselves and preventing the preventable. Because was my sudden cardiac arrest preventable? I'm going to say yes, it probably was, because I was a stress, I was a ball of stress at the point that I had my sudden cardiac arrest. And if I'd known better, I would have been managing that stress better, and it wouldn't have gotten to the point where it almost took my life. So if we're thinking about this with respect to our business, what things do we need to have in place? Ask yourself this today. Audit it for yourself. For your own personal self-care and health, but for that of the people that are part of your organization. Are you setting the good example? Are you being an example of the things we're talking about this month? Are you going to your annual screenings and your physicals or whatever is age appropriate for you? There's different things that are age appropriate for me now that weren't when I was 50 and that weren't when I was running my other businesses, but that are now. And I need to make sure I'm setting a good example and going and doing those things that I know will prevent me from having major health challenges in the future. And I already do a bunch of those because I have had 3 really big medical events in my lifetime so far. Actually, a bunch of little ones, but bigger ones too, that I've had to learn from. And I get better and better at it every time. And I put things in place to protect me and my businesses as well. When I had my sudden cardiac arrest, fortunately for me, I had things set up so that I could be away from the business for an extended period of time while I went through cardiac rehab and things like that. Vast majority of people and business owners I work with do not have anything like that in place. You have to have contingency plans. You have to have insurance. You have to have a nest egg of cash flow set aside to protect you in case anything happens, because so much unpredictable happens in our world and in our businesses. We're setting ourselves up for possible elimination. Look at the COVID pandemic. Millions of businesses went out of business during the COVID pandemic because they didn't have enough resources put in place to protect them for a massively extended period of time. Now, I will admit my rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of buffer for each of the businesses. I too would have probably been struggling. However, I also know that in that 3 to 6 month period of time, I would have figured something else out, which is exactly what I did during the pandemic. But a lot of people have never had anything bad happen to their business, and they didn't know to do that. And many of them didn't stand a chance the way the whole thing was set up. While other people made millions of dollars on fraud. Topic for another day. So, what are we going to do today? We are going to audit our organization and ask ourselves, are we setting the example? First and foremost, we need to set the example. Are we setting the example of being proactive and preventing and putting systems and habits in place to make sure bad things don't happen to us or to reduce the risk of it, right? We live in a world of tremendous information. Anything we need to know or want to know, we can figure out or ask AI, ask Google, ask AI, which Google's got AI. Everybody's got AI now, to find out what we should do. For you, just Google it. What do I need to do to be healthy at 50? What do I need to do to be healthy at 30, etc.? Whatever it is. There's no reason to say, I don't know what to do. We all can find the answers to that. But then only we can do it. So set the example by actually doing it. Audit your organization and ask yourself, are we doing and offering and encouraging people to take better care of themselves? Are we still pushing the hustle culture and the sleep deprivation and all the go mentality? Or are we teaching people to take care of themselves so that they can show up at work 100% and then can go home and be 100%? Are we, I don't like the word balance. I personally think balance is bullshit, and I think it's different for each and every one of us. But are we encouraging people to figure out what is right for them and what is their balance in terms of being able to be a human being and be a great employee or a great part of our organization as well? Do we encourage screenings? Do we offer benefits? Do we, again, we're talking about this in each of the different areas that we talk about this month. You know, are we providing the right nutrition and the right example and the right snacks and food and exercise opportunities and things like that and benefits for our organization? It's a choice. We don't have to. We can say, oh, that's everybody else's own personal responsibility. And then if we're not role modeling prevention and taking care of ourselves, guess what we're going to get? A whole culture of people that are not taking care of themselves, because people do what we do, not what we say. They model us just like our children. You know, people will commiserate and bitch and moan about their children, and then they forget that if they just look in the mirror, they know exactly why their children are the way they are, or their parents are the way they are, or why they are the way they are. Self-reflection is probably one of the most challenging things that we do, but the most powerful and beneficial as well. So today, what are we going to do? We're going to share in the comments below one thing about our organization that we think is setting a terrific example of prevention versus dealing with the illness when it happens, or the problem when it happens. And one thing that we are going to explore modeling and adding to our organization that demonstrates that we understand the concept of prevention is more important and much, much, much less expensive than dealing with the problem, the challenge, the disease when it happens. Because guess what? Statistically, something's going to happen to one of your key people in your organization, if not you, sometime during the life of your business. And so we have to have plans in place for that, right? We never know what's going to happen. All right. On that cheery note, I'd like to invite you to join Supersize Your Business School community. I really would. That's a place where all of us from different industries get together and talk about the things that are important to us. And I'm also housing the annual challenge there. Any questions? Hit me up. Otherwise, have an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Hopefully with more voice, feeling better. Bye.